against Duece, and Duece called this matchup. Are you taking P1, or are you going to take, Jets or Pittsburgh as P2? Like, what's your mindset
I'm
in this
taking
matchup?
P1 in this 100%.
P1.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Disaster corrected me. It was Pittsburgh, Dallas, but yeah, yeah. I mean, so Eifer did the same thing. Took P1, and Duece took Pittsburgh.
So if you had the choice of
yeah.
team, who do you take in this matchup? Do you take the Jets or Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I think I prefer the Jets.
Yeah.
But I think it's an easy P1 for me, and I'll just, whatever's left over, I think I'll just take it. But yeah. So I think Eifer gets P1, and I think the team that I would prefer.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at their.
I'd probably agree with you on that. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. So yeah, we have the Brew scores below, just to kind of compare. But Eifer, he had the bye, but he beat Kolvikin and Grip Smoke. So two tough West Coast guys there, and Duece, going through Chesty, Disaster, and Fast Ed to make it to this point here. But yeah, what do you think about this matchup? I guess these two guys with these teams, like, what do you think strategy from a strategy perspective?
Aren't you kind of surprised that that Duece didn't put the Steelers in Eifer's hands? I mean, obviously Eifer's kind of proven his back and B, prowess now. He's kind of changed a little bit, but obviously he spams with his keyboard or whatever he does with his running game. I don't know if Duece out taps him. I know Duece is tapping a lot more now, a lot higher now. But like, I'm just kind of surprised. Like, wouldn't you have given Eifer the team that has the shittier offense to like try to mitigate that? Where like he can't really back and beat anybody. He can't really run the ball. And what's he gonna do? And I mean, I guess I can't say I'm really up to snuff in how good Eifer's defense is, but I mean, I think Duece plays pretty good D, and so I'm just kind of surprised that Duece didn't. I guess I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't pick the Jets on this, but I'm sorry I didn't answer your question. I just kind of gave my 2 cents. But what's your question?
I was gonna say just your thoughts on this matchup overall.
I really think that I think that the Jets have the better ability to potentially, get chunk plays. Obviously, you can say that regardless, but I just feel like, for example, if Duece gets down by a couple scores, it could be tough sledding for him. But obviously, conditions are going to matter too. So we'll see what happens here. But I mean, it's really going to be tough. I mean, I think the thing is why someone like Madtown won that matchup, and maybe Turbo, called it as well, is just that you really have to, I think, to win that Pittsburgh-Houston matchup, have to out-tap them so you can move the ball. And maybe Duece out-taps Eifer, and that's why maybe that's something that happens here. But I don't know. It's tough. It's a grindy matchup, and I just feel like that you have the safety blanket of the Jets with this their back and B ability.
So it sounds like you're going to take Eifer in this matchup. Is that your prediction?
I would say yeah. I think Eifer has been playing better in leagues, at least in my leagues. And so I would say that, and I like his team better, and he's P1. So I mean, I would probably pick Eifer. But once again, Duece called this matchup on purpose, so he probably thought Eifer would take P1 or whatever, and so I think Duece almost called this matchup hoping to get the Steelers. Obviously, So what's this kind? I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. First game of the night, Thunderdome 15 Elite 8, quadruple header. We got Eifer as the Jets versus Duece as the Steelers. And 1 second here. Just got to get this going here. All right. All right, so Duece wins the toss, and obviously I assume he's going to kick off here. And let's see what we got going on here. Not a good return here for Eifer. And interesting, you can see that. So you had the toss up there. You had Eifer running it, Rod Woodson, and really just not getting any blocking. And Duece going for the dive there. Duece had him dead to rights. He didn't need to dive there. He had the help right behind him. But you can just kind of see Eifer running right at Rod Woodson. Oh, and so at least in that situation, Eifer out-tapped Duece, which makes me even wonder this team call even more at this point. But so something else I don't understand at this point, and maybe I think Brew's in the chat, he can answer. But why does the wide receiver 1 on that toss play get a HP boost, and that's why Rod God can't popcorn him? Because I would feel like Rod God would popcorn him normally. Yeah, that explains that. So, ooh. So big time 3rd and 8 here. You gotta think he would kick if he doesn't get it, but he's got options. And so it's 4th and 2, and he's no hesitation going for it immediately. And Duece blitzed and left someone wide open. I forgot about the menu tapping. I'm not really sure what he's menu tapping about. Nothing really weird happened there. Crossfield throw by Eifer. Oh, wide open. What a toss. That was a really strong first drive by Eifer. And that's what I was talking about. So if he can move the ball, I know it's only one drive, but if he can move the ball that easily against this defense, it's just, once again, why pick the Steelers? And interesting enough, War, I know you're there, even though you're not talking. The poll ending 6-6 is people are very split on who they think is going to win this game. Literally to the 50-50 T. So a question I have for the people watching in the chat is, in this matchup, do you play Brister or do you play Strom? Because I think I play Strom. Not that it really matters, because, obviously McMillan is going to jump pick anybody, but I probably play Strom so the whole secondary doesn't jump pick everything, personally. But and just like we thought in the pregame, not being able to move the ball with the Steelers is a recipe for disaster here, and dangerous there. Surprised it wasn't a fumble, but first quarter heavily won by Eifer and the Jets. So it's ease in time, isn't good. He's 19-50-50 here. Other condition checks, nothing else to note on offense there. Defensively, everyone's still an average for the Steelers. Oh, and throwing it deep. And gets it JJ to Doom. And that's what I was saying in the pregame, is that you have to worry about that. That really the Steelers just don't bring that heat against the Jets. Oh, and a 16-8. So Eifer does out-tap Duece unless Duce's finger slipped there. And like I said in the pregame, it's if Duece gets down by 2 scores, it's gonna be tough. Granted, he can be saved here by the double dip potentially at the end of the half, but man, not looking good so far. All right, so Duece has to score a touchdown here, at least a field goal, but probably a touchdown, and basically can't let Eifer score any more points. He's got to get a couple first downs here. something we probably should have noted in the pregame. One good thing about the Steelers is that they're one of the 2 teams with a true 44-MS kick returner. So, I mean, that field position game could really help Duece potentially, especially now that he's down by 2 scores, come back, but just in general. Nice little scramble there. Brister now in good, so now he's basically Billy Joel Tolliver, except with 19 MS, which is people like Regulator, Grip Smoke, and all that, Wet Dream. And there's a JJ pick. I mean, perfect position. Just terrible throw by Duece. I just don't know why he's forcing the issue there. You don't want to score that quickly anyway. It just, what a terrible throw. Just, it makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, saved by the fumble. Wow. Wow. So basically, I mean, honestly, Duece has done nothing in this game to win. Nothing. And somehow was only down 1 score. You know, give kudos to Eifer, by the way, for playing that crossfield throw perfectly and getting position to JJ Pickett. And just Eifer dialing up all the right notes for on offense for the Jets. I mean, he just can do no wrong at this point. This could be a huge stop here on 3rd and 6. You got to think Eifer's going to punt and not go for it if he doesn't get this. Oh, man. See, I don't agree with this decision. I think the second, and you can see a bad throw there. I think the second Eifer saw Duece get knocked down, he shouldn't have been running backwards. He should have changed his plan and either thrown the tying JJ to a running back 1 or just dump it off to running back 2 right there to start going forward towards the pressure and throw to running back 2. He would have easily gotten that. So, halftime here. Well, with how bad of a half that was for Duece, I think he's got to be happier than a pig in shit that he's coming out of it. Only down a touchdown and could potentially tie the game here. Also, getting condition love with Hodge going in and good at 44 MS, which I think was a good last quarter too, and now Strom in good at LVP 2.0, 1950-44. Oh, and there's Duece. Duece out tapping 18-16. So whether he was just saving the taps for later or what he was doing there, finally out taps and taking the chance with 88 BC Merrill Hodge to not fumble there on the end of that run. I would have gone out of bounds. I don't know, man. I think now I'd probably throw Strom in, but maybe I'm still wrong with him being in good. But that's just me. Maybe I just have less balls than all you guys. Oh, he had so many options for a touchdown there. If he doesn't score a touchdown on this drive, he would waste the opportunity right there. Oh, look at the block that Duece got on that play. That guy was just chasing Bird all over the place, and Duece used that block to perfection. So inexplicably, granted, he looked really good that drive. Somehow, Duece has tied this game, and we got a ball game after a terrible first half by Duece. And Eifer just running all over the place with McNeil, making no sense. I mean, his kick returner isn't bad at, is that 13 or 19? 19 MS? Like, what's he doing? What a waste. Cut up and just these guys. And you know what? And I know maybe I'm just tainted because I just fumble all the time. But I just feel like I just see all these guys take all these tackles and bounds and just, start shaking. So the clock is Eifer's friend here. He just can, he can just chunk this down the field a couple yards at a time. No biggie whatsoever. Just go out of bounds. If anything, just like only get a couple yards at a time, scramble, do whatever you want. 219 MSQBs. He's got all the time in the world here. But these tackles and bounds, they just scare me. Oh, nice pass there. He had the crosser at the bottom of the screen for a touchdown if he wanted to take it. Which no guarantee that Duece scores again with that offense. Granted, he does have good conditions, from versus Strom and Hodge. But I just kind of feel like I don't necessarily know if you have to wait to score if you're the Jets, simply because there's no guarantees with that offense that the Steelers are going to answer. Nice job there by Duece to take away that short throw. I thought Eifer had a window, but he committed to the run instead. So now Eifer with a 50 MS running back and Hector. Tuning bad though, so now he doesn't really have anyone to throw the ball to that's fast. So that could affect things if somehow he scores here and Duece ties it in an end of game situation. But and Eifer just content scrambling the ball there. And you can't be happy that he's got, nice. Oh, it gets the luck. Get what luck by Eifer. So the guys get popcorn. They're both chasing him. They catch him in the backfield. One bounces off. Eifer gets away. And Duece, I thought, played that to perfection, and it still bit him in the ass. Man. Well, aside from that end of half situation, with the vaunted Steelers defense, Duece has not been able to stop Eifer. So we're going to see if choosing this offense comes back to bite Duece. Although I will say, getting that stop before the half should count because it was a huge. Obviously, if Eifer scores there, it's a much different game right now. So now I think if I'm Duece, I just score whenever I can and just hope for the best, because you just can't gamble here with the Steelers offense. But obviously, having a 44-MS running back is super, super helpful. Eifer picking run. Oh, man. Had multiple people open on that. Like, everyone open, and this threw it to the one guy that could be jump blocked at the line. So Eifer selling out on run here. Oh, nice job there, getting it to Green out of the dive, out of the reach of the dive of McMillan. So Duece having a much better half offensively. Obviously, conditions help. Then he hit. Oh, wow, that was dangerous. Holy God, that was so dangerous. I thought McMillan was there. I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand how that wasn't a CC pick. I don't understand how that wasn't a JJ pick. Wow. Especially with everyone open. I don't think Duece meant to kick that as a onside either. Eifer's in field goal range already. He's got the second best kicker in the game. Granted, it is Lloyd with 50 RP blocking the kick, but still. For anyone that watches my games, whenever you see my meter not at full, it's because I get too scared to do that, and I just rather do not full meter kick and just deal with it. All right, and already Eifer infield, like chip shot range now, double tap range. And Duece just has to hope to maybe keep him out of the end zone. And even then, like, what does it matter? Oh, wow. So there's a school of thought there. Obviously, Eifer shouldn't score. You know, he can back and be from Schramm to Hodge, so he's got a 44 MS guy. And I understand, and obviously with all the tackles he was taking in bounds, I just wonder why Eifer scored there. I mean, granted, I think Duece has 3 timeouts still, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but still. So that, I really thought Duece was going to take advantage of the kick return ability there. Like, how do you not take advantage of the 44 there? What are you doing? Because now, I mean, at least get to the 30. Now you don't have enough space. Well, he's got one-on-one versus Hodge. I don't know if he's going to have enough space here to avoid it. Oh, almost get safetied. Is it going to get there? This is the only play. Oh, lucked out. But there you go. That's why that return was such a bad idea, because you just don't have enough space to get the ball there with 44 MS. You just don't. And now you got someone even slower. He's not going to be able to avoid these guys long enough to get it there. Lips is not in the end zone. And Eifer wins the first game. Lots of errors there by Duece. Did play better second half, but I don't know, man. Well, let's go back to this. But between the mistakes. Oops, sorry guys, I gotta change this too. There we go. I don't know. Ward, just come back in here and help me out here. I just don't understand. Like there was just a lot of errors there by Duece that you don't usually see him make, and it just seems like he kind of, handed that game to Eifer.
Yeah, I mean, I think Duece was very fortunate to even be in that game, down 14 with the jump pick and then the fumble. But even like the plays that he made, like some plays just seemed like they were accidental. Like that touchdown, that last one, seemed like a missed tap that ended up being completed. The onside kick, I mean, I think just definitely nerves. I know when you're playing this type of game, it's really, you get really nervous, and I can totally see that. But like, don't you just like on that kickoff, like knowing like just how important it is just to kick that ball off? Like, why go for the full bar? Like, I don't get it. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me to try to do that, especially with the Pittsburgh defense, So, very fortunate for Duece. But I mean, Eifer played a great game. I think outside of maybe that one possession before the half, he really played pretty with pretty mistake-free Tecmo, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say Eifer, aside from that one play and taking all the tackles and bounds, played flawlessly. And obviously, but like, let's give Duece some credit. He made that run. Honestly, could have won that game after, with all the stuff we just said. And great run by Duece to get this far. And I think that it's just, but I think everything we said in the pregame about the Jets and everything else, like, kind of came to fruition, right? Like, I mean, aside from that one drive before the end of the half, I mean, just Duece couldn't stop Eifer at all that whole game. And like, to be frank, like, I'm probably fully confident that Eifer can bomb that ball anyway and still probably score at the end of the game, even if that onside didn't happen. Like, I just didn't see anything happening there. And then obviously, the quarterback conditions made a big thing. But like, I mean, I don't think Duece comes back in that game at all if he doesn't get the condition love he got between Hodge and his QBs. Just like I don't think Eifer proved his success in the first quarter with all average conditions, and so like the enhanced conditions just helped him even more. Where like, Duece, I just didn't potentially see that happen with that defense, or that offense. But you know what? Great run by Duece. Ran into a buzzsaw with the way Eifer played, and it's just sometimes those matchup calls just come back to bite you. So
exactly. Yep. Let's move on to the next game.
All right. Whoops.
So next up we got